Greetings, YouTube. Ever since I posted the video on the alleged Quake perfect gameplay causing users to be accidentally banned from Alliance War play, which of course caused them to be banned for everything after doing the perfect gameplay in Alliance War, I've had several people reach out to me and say, Prof, I want to see this alleged perfect Quake gameplay. So what I've done is compile a three different videos, a list of three different videos that we'll watch all of them here, and I'll kind of just talk while it plays so this video isn't insanely long. But basically, I've been working with both the user that provided the initial information about Quake gameplay and also the user by the name of Blythe, who many of you know from other videos of alleged cheating in Alliance War. Now, I want to make myself clear. It is possible, as I tell my students all the time when we talk about current events, it is possible that two things can be true at the same time. It is possible that someone can be a mole in other top-tier alliances trying to steal defensive strategies and, dare I say, even sabotage an alliance from winning alliance wars and still get unfairly banned for perfect Quake play. This does not cancel out the other. It simply is part of the puzzle of investigative facts. And so I know that there are a lot of people who are going to watch this and not believe that this makes a difference. But I do believe, as you can see, the difference between what I would consider to be quote-unquote good Quake play versus perfect gameplay is technically Quake never registers a block in this kind of play. It's evading in the kind of missing that you would see if you're playing with Ghost, for example, or maybe Hood after his Special 2. And so the computer of Kabam's detection system never registers a single hit or a single block. And you can perfect this play so well that you can see a 2-star Quake is just going methodically through this damage of a 565 Emma Frost. Something that as I could play this game for years and years and years and probably not perfect this for 5 seconds, nevertheless 5 minutes. And so it is very plausible that the computer detection system, which is automated of Kabam servers, could look at a 2-star Quake against a 565 Emma Frost that Quake never sustains a single hit and at the same time causes a crazy ton of damage and thinks this has to be some kind of hacker, this has to be some kind of mod. There is no way, feasibly, that a human being could be this good. And so we can laugh all we want about the idea of being so good at the game that you get yourself banned, but I think in this case, most reasonable people would watch this and be like, wow, this is straight crazy. This probably is so hard to do that 99% of summoners, even with excessive practice, couldn't pull it off. This is also why Quake is my favorite champion, and I do think when you master her abilities, she becomes a glorified cheat code. But yes, this level of Quake play, unlike the traditional parry and heavy attack, takes a ton of practice, and even then, only a few will become Quake Jedi Masters. And I want to say again, I'm not putting out this video to say that all the charges that were made against this person in the alliance as far as cheating or whatnot are not true, because I frankly have no idea and I probably never will, so it would be irresponsible for me to take a stance on that. I'm just saying that the Quake part of the incorrect ban has some merit, and you can see in the videos we're watching right now just how insane the play is. And so a lot of people who are like, well, I bring in Quake to Alliance War and I've never gotten banned. Well, you probably haven't done this, right? You've probably at least blocked once and at least had that sustained in the meta of what the computer sees as the statistics of the fight. So yeah, 2-star Quake against a 565 Emma doing work, still has not taken a single hit, still has not registered a single block, and has stayed in the corner the whole time. Does not have to be stunned, is not causing, of course, stun because of the specific nodes of this fight. The unstoppables don't work. The aftershocks and concussions are still causing a significant amount of damage despite the disparity in a 2-star versus a 5-star. And yeah, so this is just the kind of crazy high-level, perfect Quake gameplay that doesn't register anything even after a completely legal fight. So this is the Emma Frost one. I think we're going to kind of skip the rest of this because it cuts off shortly, and we're going to go to our next perfect Quake gameplay compilation. This one's more pixelated, so I apologize, but you'll still see a pattern. And in this case, the Quake gameplay is being used to get the 4-star Quake to not die. You're starting out against a high-ranking Dormammu, 37,000 plus PI, and Quake is down to 3% health. So for most people, yours truly, I would probably parry once and die from the block damage, but not this guy. This guy is a perfect Quake fighter. So as you can see, we're going to eventually go back to the corner, just like with Emma Frost. And Dormammu, try as he may. This time there is not a unstunnable note, of course. But try as he may, he's not going to be able to ever register a hit on this Quake, and the 3% health is completely irrelevant. Now notice that no heavy is ever released, so when the aftershock charges are done, Quake is still in the corner just charging that heavy and causing over 5,000 damage. And this is a 4-star, right? This is one of those 4-stars that so many people say, whatever, prof, I don't even know why you open 4-star crystals anymore. 4-stars are completely irrelevant. Well, there are still quite a few 4-star champs that, if you know how to play them really well, can do better. And I say this all the time. I will take a rank 5 4-star that's max sig 99 over most unawakened rank 4 5-stars, especially those that need a high sig ability like a Void or even like a Medusa. So yeah, I'm still a huge believer in 4-stars, and I still talk to several summoners every day that most of their best champs are still 4-stars. In fact, I get a lot of questions of, Prof, who's the first 4-star I should bring to rank 5? And I've been playing the game for over a year, because also it's easy to remember, or easy to forget, I should say, that a lot of people only have like an hour to play this game a day. So progression is crazy slow. If you're only playing for an hour a day and you're never grinding in the arena and you're really not able to challenge yourself to grind catalysts, it might take you a year and a half. Now, he did make one mistake and actually connect on a hit there, so that is the difference between the video. But the purpose of this video isn't to show the perfect play as much as it is to say, hey, I can start off a fight with 3% health and still not worry about getting hit once with this gameplay and cause a 37,000 Dormammu, which normally would be a crazy good defender against most people, to get knocked out, as you will see in just a few seconds as the 13 boom charges are being converted. So that is fight number 2. Now fight number 3 is a compilation of fights just trying to show the ability of Quake to finish off fights quickly with this strategy. So we will see, we're starting up against a 32,000 rated Luke Cage, and we'll just kind of see how fast she can melt these defenders in a string of perfect Quake gameplay. I appreciate all these videos because, you know, it's one thing to talk about the perfect Quake gameplay, but if you're somebody like me who loves Quake so much that you're used to playing with her, you think, okay, the perfect Quake gameplay is defined as parry, heavy attack, parry, heavy attack. But actually the parry is something that the computer knows that the user would be doing manually. So if you're parrying, if you're registering blocks, the chances of the automated computer system kicking you out and causing a red flag on your account is almost zero, because a bot wouldn't be parrying like a user. But in this case, no parries are ever registered because no blocks are ever received. Now we're going to go to 35,000. So this is actually the string of the epic daily fights that we've seen in past daily events, such as, of course, the trials that are currently going on and just finishing up. We only have just a couple more days of those before, hopefully, a good, I haven't seen any info on it yet, a good daily event in February. That was the month last year, keep in mind, that we had the original trials of the King with the Black Panther event out that were so great. That was a fantastic event. That was, dare I say, a lot easier than this trial of the Alchemist week, which makes sense, I guess, because everyone's rosters at the top are so much better than they were a year ago. But man, do I miss going up against 13 to 15,000 PI'd enemies instead of 35 to 37,000 PI'd. But yeah, Quake is just melting this and making it look so easy. And once again, this is a rank 5 4-star. This is not somebody that has to be a rank 5 65 5-star to be perfectly effective. And as you can continue to see, all the evades with dexterity are making it to where Quake is never taking a single hit. So I'm a big, big fan of showcasing Quake's true potential, even if I will never have the skills to utilize her in this way. And I hope that most reasonable summoners can look at this and think, well, if a computer never registers a block or a hit in multiple fights in which the attacker is less than the defender by 30,000 rating, it makes sense that there would be a red flag in the system. I do want to point out that several summoners have suggested the same solution, which is for Kabam to check the champion data whenever it's flagged and see if it's a Quake, because that could make a difference as to whether or not it would override the automated ban. I don't know if that is a thing or not, because then, of course, the counter is, well, then people will just use bots with Quake because they know it'll override the system. So there's always a counter argument to this. But needless to say, this is the kind of perfect gameplay that makes me jealous and probably will give so many summoners a reason to think, wow, maybe I should give Quake a second look, because I kind of have dismissed her as a fun champion, but not somebody that would ever be of the caliber of, say, a Domino or Stark Spidey or even a Blade. So, yeah, I love this. I am a Quaker, not just because I'm used to eating a bunch of Quaker oatmeal. Oh, that was like the worst joke I've ever said in my life. It's true, though. It's actually true. I do enjoy that oatmeal. But, yeah, I want to say again, if you've somehow clicked on this video late, this is strictly perfect Quake video play to show people what got flagged. It is not to be the court of law and say that a user, because they played perfectly with Quake, is not guilty of other allegations, because they could be. I do want to point out that Kabam has said on the official public forums that they will not use hearsay as a matter of convicting someone. So if you have proof through the Line app via screenshots that someone colluded with another alliance to try to take you down, if somebody infiltrated your alliance, somebody texted me today, they said, you know, it's called Alliance War, so isn't spies in war completely legal? And, you know, in theory, back in the day, if you're talking about like a major war, well, yeah, spies are common practice in war. So I guess in that way, it's just following what the root definition of the word is. But that's what makes the charge of someone coming into your alliance, sabotaging it, and then leaving it so hard. I doubt Kabam will ever punish a user for that, because the only proof you have are things like Line app screenshots, and because their automated system can't catch moles leaving one alliance to another, they're simply going to tell you that you need to be careful on who you bring in, which makes it even more pressure and paranoia at the very top, especially in those top 20 master alliances, to not recruit a bad seed that ends up wrecking everybody's hard work for the duration of the season. So there you have it, YouTube. I hope that this compilation of videos helps. I realize there is a ton of animosity against the alliance that this video is coming from, but I do appreciate that these videos were sent over. For the record, he was extremely cooperative and wanted to showcase not only his skills, but also the truth of why their ban was reinstated for those points. I am not saying that to say that I think that there's a 100% chance that they weren't guilty of anything else. It is simply unwise of me to even infer anything like that. But in this case, two things can be true at the same time. You can have perfect gameplay that gets you automatically banned from a computer system that turns out to be incorrect, and you can still be doing enough shady things behind the scenes to become undetected in trying to get an unfair advantage over your opponent. So, in conclusion, I know this is way easier said than done, but when you recruit people, you have to be 110% sure, and sometimes that's impossible, to that you're bringing somebody who really means what they say in terms of wanting to help your alliance and isn't just out there to try to help another competing alliance. Very hard to do, but yeah, that's the world we live in, because Alliance War brings out the worst in people, including paranoia and, dare I say, just evil cheating that should get you banned, but because of the system setup, there are so many loopholes, it's just very difficult to prove something in the court of law in Kabam's case. So there you have it, YouTube. This was a compilation of perfect Quake gameplay. If you were amazed by this kind of play, let me know what you think. Hopefully, at least most summoners who have an open mind with what this looks like can now watch these videos and say, okay, I get it. If Kabam has a system set up that is trying to detect fishy fights, things that don't make sense, and you've got a 2-star killing a 565 Emma Frost that never gets hit and never causes any damage to itself over the course of a duration, it almost feels like a human being. That would be impossible. And yet a few Jedi Quake masters have indeed perfected this Quake style, so hats off to them for doing that. I will probably never be one of those people, but hey, you gotta have life goals, right? Thanks for watching, YouTube.